Hi, Ambrose here, and I just thought I would do a video on how to protect yourself, how to protect your privacy while you surf the internet. And this would be protecting your privacy against your internet provider, against the U.S. government, against anybody. And how you do this is to encrypt your internet connection from your computer to the server. And how you do this is you Google VPN service and you pick out a provider. VPN is Virtual Private Network. And what VPN does is it encrypts your internet connection. It encrypts it. It sends a key from your computer to the server you hook up to. So everything from your computer to the server is encrypted. So whatever internet provider you're using, what this does is you blind your internet provider to what you're doing because the connection is scrambled and they can't see. They may have some sophisticated software that may be able to see some low levels of encryption. There's anywhere from 100 some odd bit level encryption to 2,000 bit level encryption with VPN. I'm not going to get into that. Just I'm telling you, virtual private network. Google VPN, just VPN or VPN service, and do your homework, and you'll figure out the different levels of encryption and the assorted ways that you can connect up to a VPN service, and different ways of configurations and levels of security and methods. Anyway, so all I'm saying is you can encrypt your connection from a computer by using a VPN, and if you want to, for example, protect yourself like from government, the United States government surveillance, what you do is use a virtual private network provider that is based outside of the country, that is based in, for example, Canada or Europe, just not based in the U.S. So that, which means they're not going to have servers in the U.S. So that they're not bound by U.S. law. A lot of them will not cooperate with U.S. law. Like if an agency in the U.S. puts a trace on your IP and they run into your VPN provider that's not based in the U.S., then they won't cooperate with it. They don't even keep logs of who is logging onto their servers. So what I'm saying is the most effective way of protecting yourself is to pick a VPN service not based in the U.S. What this means is you will be hooking up to a server that is not based in the U.S. You will be hooking up to a server that is based in Canada or Europe or some other location in the world. And what this does is encrypts the connection from your computer to the server outside of the U.S. So everything going on in between your computer and the server located outside of the U.S. is encrypted. And anyone that puts a trace on you will only see the IP address of the server outside of the country. They're going to think whatever you're doing is from this particular server. So if you really want to get carried away with protecting yourself and your privacy and what you do, this is what you do. You go VPN service and you pick one of those not based in the U.S. so that they're not bound by U.S. law, where the government can, U.S. government can come in and do their thing. Now, I'm not going to tell you which providers You just got to do your own homework and figure out which ones let you anonymously serve, that do not keep logs when you hook up to their server. They do not keep logs so that any legal request or any other illegal request or any request whatsoever is made to trace your IP. It's not going to happen. They're going to run into a dead end at the server that you're using. Now, not all VPNs are like this. You have to do your homework. All VPN providers in the U.S. are subject to U.S. law. So you're subject to all the agencies within the U.S. putting a trace on you, and they're going to find out who you are. Now, there's certain providers in other countries, of course, they're not bound by U.S. law, so they will not cooperate, and you're protecting your privacy this way. All the ones in the U.S. are probably going to log all your information, and if a trace must be made and somebody really wants to find out, then they're probably going to find out. But you know, if you're not really paranoid and you just want to encrypt your internet connection and keep your privacy, you know, U.S. providers are good. The thing with VPN service in the United States, if you hook up to a server somewhere in this country, you're probably going to be faster. Your ping or latency is going to be the fastest the closer a server is to you. So, you know, I mean, if you're like using a server, say, over in Spain, you know, you could still have high speed, but your ping or latency is going to be longer, which means if you're a gamer, you don't want to be hooked up on a server that's on the other side of the planet. You want your server to be as close as possible to you. So any VPN service will work to encrypt your connection and protect your internet, your IP address, because when you hook up to any server in the US or world, it uses that IP address and protects your own IP address. So, you know, I mean, if you're not really paranoid and you want the fastest possible service, use a VPN located in the US. You know, if you really want to get carried away, you know, don't use a server in the US. And there's a number of U.S. providers that have servers outside of the country, but because they're based in the U.S., they're still going to cooperate with traces, even if their servers in another country, because they're based in the U.S. So any U.S. request to trace is going to go through. So whereas if you use a service that's based in another country and their server is, you know, then they may or may not cooperate depending on which VPN service you use. So that's it. That's the lesson of the day. VPN is getting very popular. It's out now, and like I say, basically what you're doing is you encrypt your connection from your computer to the VPN server or provider. And it changes your IP address to them and protects you. It makes you anonymous, so that people like me that know how to trace IP addresses will only see the trace to the server. Like I say, if it's law enforcement, they can go through that, but protecting yourself against everybody else, you know, I mean, everybody else that traces you like me that doesn't have law enforcement access will only see that. And like I say, so that's my lesson in this video. Learn about VPN service, and if you really want to get carried away with making your communications private and securing them, taking care of your security on the internet. Well, that's it. Bye. Hi, I'm Ambrose. I was going to upload what I said previously, and then I saw that there was a little more to add to guarding your privacy, which is besides VPN, you can also let me talk a little more about VPN. With VPN, you can put your internet connection through multiple VPN providers, and also you can be going through a half a different countries scattered all over the world. So if somebody traces your IP address, they've got to go through the legal bodies of, say, 12 different countries before they can even begin to figure out who you are. And unlike the movies where people bounce their connection from servers all over the planet, it's not so easy. They've got to stop at each server in each country to try and figure out who you are. So you know, with VPN service, you can bounce you can be hooked. You can guard your privacy by going through multiple countries all over the earth, and basically making it impossible for anybody to figure out who you are. Also, besides VPN, you can also use what's called Usenet. It's spelled U-S-E-N-E-T. Now, Usenet is also another way of encrypting your internet connection, and these are whole groups of servers. It puts your internet connection through a whole network of servers. And also, this is another situation where you can use Usenet that's based in the U.S., or you can use a service that's not based in the U.S. And once again, Usenet is another way that, like I say, it encrypts you from your computer to the server that you hook up to. And I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry, but you can use Usenet or VPN. You can also combine them with each other. You could use Usenet and put VPN on top of that, or use VPN and put Usenet on top of that. I mean, you can be hooked up to so many servers and services and countries that they can't figure out who you are. I mean, you can guard yourself. Now, Usenet is another situation where they may or may not log who you are. There's different levels of privacy with these services. With VPN and Usenet, you can buy into these services and remain anonymous, so there is no trace of who you are when you buy the service. Not all VPNs and Usenet will let you do this. Some want to verify who you are by some method, but it is possible to use VPN and Usenet, buy into it, and at the point that you purchase the service, you are untraceable as to who you are. And when you use the service, you are consequently, it's impossible to know who you are. Anybody that puts a trace on you will never know. Any legal body will never know, because you bought into it anonymously, and furthermore, their point of service does not cooperate with requests of who people are anyway. And even if they became compromised and the military seized their servers, they wouldn't find out anything, because you bought into it anonymously, and they don't keep logs in particular locations. So even if they become compromised and seized by military or something, it doesn't matter. You're protected when you buy into these services anonymously. So I also wanted to mention a cool browser. It's called Tor, T-O-R. You can go to their website and download it. And this browser, you download it, and it doesn't install on your computer. You put it on your hard drive, and when you fire it up, it's a self-contained program, so it runs all by itself on top of the operating system. It doesn't become, it doesn't install as an operating system program. But anyway, and it's a Tor browser. and it bounces when you surf on the Tor browser, it bounces the connection through multiple servers. So that also hides your IP address. Now, Tor is good for some privacy surfing, but the Tor network is very slow. You can't do anything high speed on the Tor browser, Tor network. But if you're going to do like chat groups or just low bandwidth, slow things, then the Tor browser works very well. It covers your privacy, it covers your IP address, it changes your IP address, it puts you through a whole complicated, sophisticated network of servers protecting your identity through what you do on its browser. Now, keep in mind the Tor browser only protects what you do within the browser. When you use a Usenet service or VPN service, you're putting your whole computer and every application on it that communicates with the internet behind the server that you hook up to. So everything you do, every application on your computer is encrypted and protected behind the VPN or Usenet service that you hook up to, because it puts your whole computer behind the service. So your instant messaging, your peer-to-peer communications, chatting, everything is encrypted and put behind the VPN or Usenet service. So I just wanted to add that, as long as I'm making a video on how to protect your privacy and surfing on the internet. Okay, now I need to figure out how to turn this off. Okay, see you later again, and hopefully I don't have any more to add, because I think this video is starting to get on the long side here. Ambrose out. Bye.